since they moved out east.
Yep.
Did the triple dare, you got home, did a radio hit, and went straight to sleep.
My son was like, "Let's go to dinner at Huey's."
Okay.
And I didn't know it was National Burger Day, and I shot him down.
Oh my God!
If I'd known, I would have been like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's go." Yeah. No, we had pasta with
Homemade
sausage.
Home.
Yeah, I cooked.
Okay.
I was also like, I don't want to spend the money on.
Yeah,
like,
I understand.
yeah.
I understand.
It's a Wednesday night. We can't be splashing cash around like this.
Does he know it was National Burger Day?
No, I don't
yesterday?
think so.
Okay,
Like,
well, make sure he doesn't, because be upset about that.
Yeah, we screwed that up.
Oh my goodness! I saw a recipe. I've been wanting some cabbage. I saw a good
Cabbage. Nobody.
Cabbage is good. If
That sounds
you do
like
it
a
right.
clips line.
Oh, does it? But no, I wanted to do, because they did like a Creole cabbage, so it's cabbage with, I guess the cabbage would be the pasta in that situation, and then you do the shrimp and you do the andouille sausage on it, and you give it the Creole seasoning. It's like, oh yeah, I might get into that this weekend.
I went to a Thai restaurant in New York one time. I still remember I had this cabbage. That was the best cabbage I've ever had. It was cooked with like fish sauce and like it had like it was the perfect like char and also not, it was just great. Hard to cook cabbage, right?
I will throw cabbage on the grill. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some.
But it's
some
hard
good
not to burn it before the inside is like cooked, because then you get like raw cabbage with like black on the outside. It's terrible.
I will
I have gas for 3 days.
I don't mind burning it, because you're not gonna burn the whole thing. The middle gets done, and then the outer parts are burnt.
But you gotta cook that.
And you just get rid of the burnt part on
The way
the
you're
outside.
supposed to do it is you wrap it in foil.
Okay.
Put a pat of butter on it and season it and close it up.
Yeah.
And put it on the grill, and it'll still get the char just from the foil stuff, but then it cooks the inside too. And
Okay. And you don't have to worry about throwing the outer parts away.
Yeah.
I follow. Okay.
I like that.
All right, I might try that this weekend. How about those Thunder, Lang?
Oh no. Unethical basketball.
Unethical. They beat those dudes by 40.
There's no honor.
They beat them
It's
by
non-honorable.
40. Get out of here.
We don't need to talk about those guys. Hey.
Give it to me, Jacob, because Lang has no clue what's going on. Jessica had an emergency, y'all. So Lang, it was kind enough last minute, like 20 minutes ago, said, Lang, can you come in? Lang's like, yep, I can be there. So shout out to Lang for coming in.
It's because of my respect for the JB Show Nation.
Dad, damn right.
I was like, I better get here for the JB jury.
You know, they're the jury.
That's right, yeah.
That's respect right there. We're going to talk Thunder. They advanced to the NBA Finals. We're going to do that in the first segment. Teresa Walker was at Titans practice yesterday. She saw Malik Willis with her own 2 eyes for the first time since he became a Tennessee Titan. So we're going to talk to her about that and some other stuff going on in the world of sports. It's draft day. We may draft. We probably won't. I don't know. What do you think about?
What draft is today?
We can do scary movie.
You mean just on the show?
Yeah, just on the show.
There was like a sports draft today that I didn't know about.
No, scary movie villain draft. What say you, Lang?
Scariest movie villain?
You've done no prep.
Yeah, off the top of my head.
Don't say anything.
I got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you need 5, so we'll probably draft that.
Yeah.
And Chucky, the actor who played Chucky, passed away sadly yesterday. So in honor of him,
did he get killed by a little doll?
No, he did not. And then after that, we'll get into theater Thursday. The summer movie season is here. We'll get Lang's thoughts, get my thoughts on some of the movies coming out.
John Roser's coming in.
John Roser
He's going to hang out.
Maybe
he said he would, yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
He said by 8:30.
I'll believe it when I see it. All right.
I think you will.
That's okay. That's what we got going on. You know what we say. Let's just go. I'm in the Ninja Turtle gear. Let's just keep it simple, tried and true. Cowabunga.
Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Javon Evans might be the Ja Morant of the WWE. You ask me how do I say that? It's because Javon Evans is electrifying. He is viral. He does things you've never seen before. The most athletic guy you've never ever seen in the wrestling world. He reminds me of Ja in a wrestling ring. So Javon Evans, I'm proclaiming you on this day the Ja Morant of the WWE.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What up, everybody? Jessica Benson Show, CJ. Jessica's out, Lane, kind enough, like I said, to come in. And what a game last night, Lane. When did you know it was over?
2 weeks ago? I mean, come on. There was no chance the Timberwolves were going to win that thing.
But in that game, did you think, because we didn't talk to you yesterday, did you think they were going to be able to get a win and force a game 6?
No.
No. I didn't either. I don't think many people thought they would be able to.
You know
but
what
you certainly thought it wasn't going. Did you think it would be that?
No, I thought they'd make it competitive. Although I had an idea when I saw James Capers was refereeing.
Yo.
I saw that and I was like, all right, we're really at the point of the season where James Capers is one of the best referees we have available to us. But Shea's going to get those calls. You know the Thunder are going to be allowed to guard the way they guard with 2 hands on Ant, shoving him around. There was a clip going around this morning on Twitter. I wish I had saved it, CJ, to send you that it was a Ant being guarded by Caruso driving to the basket. Caruso's all up in him, 2 hands, pushing him. Before Ant even gets the shot off, right at the end, he gives him a little bump there. It's the exact play that Shea gets bumped on and flops and gets 2 free throws. And Ant did not flop. He went up and took the shot and missed. And I was thinking look, the way that basketball is being officiated these days, like if you're Ant, that's your takeaway. You got to learn how to flop on these plays to get to the free throw line and get easy points.
What is with you hating on Shea? Because all of that is untrue.
No, I'm taking the referees.
Everything you just said is untrue.
I saw a video clip of it.
Everything you said about
Shea is so
untrue.
good. He's great at being on the way to the rim. He feels any little contact and he flops and shoots it and gets 2 free throws.
How many free throws did he shoot last?
I have no idea. Last night, who knows?
He shot 4.
He didn't need to.
Shot before they started fouling.
But the bigger issue is not his free throw count.
Before they started fouling in the last game, Shea shot 8.
I get it.
Okay,
the bigger
so
issue is not. I don't care.
If you're fouling him, he's supposed to do that. He's getting fouled.
I don't care how many free throws he shoots.
Okay.
My point is that the referees don't call it both ways. Like the Wolves are out there guarding at the half court line, foul.
No, that's not true.
Hands on the guy, foul.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not, because Anthony Edwards, and to start the third
we saw
quarter,
it in the series here against the Grizzlies. The Thunder were officiated differently
the Thunder
than the
were
Grizzlies
better
were.
than the Grizzlies.
They were, but two things can be true at once.
Yeah, but
the
what you're
Thunder were
saying about the
officiated
foul stuff
differently
is wrong.
than the Grizzlies because they were allowed to play with a level of physicality that the Grizzlies were not allowed to play with.
Because the Grizzlies
and
can't
that happened
do
throughout
so.
the playoffs. It's happening.
Grizzlies can't do so without fouling.
I don't want the Knicks to win. I want the Pacers to win. But part of me wants the Knicks to win only because the referees are going to favor them the way they favor the Thunder in the playoffs so far. Because the Knicks are the Knicks. The Knicks have New York City behind them, league offices. We know about the cold envelope and Patrick Ewing and all that. I thought that was the best chance we have of the Thunder getting knocked off would be if the Knicks play them in the playoffs. Now I've kind of changed my mind. I think the best chance we have of a competitive finals is the Pacers playing them because the Pacers are great. And they've looked like they're the hot team right now. Them and the Thunder are probably the 2 hottest teams in the playoffs right now. So I think we might have a great series between those two. See, the jury's calling me right.
Okay, because they're Thunder haters also, right? Like that's
nobody likes the Thunder.
Don't like them. You got to respect them, though. They went out there in a game to decide the series, and they did what you're supposed to do. They stepped on their neck and didn't let up.
Yeah,
they didn't. You're talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had 32 points / assists in the first half, or points off of assists, in the first half. The Timberwolves only had 32 points. That's not on dudes getting away with fouling. That's on them not showing up. That's on them not matching the intensity. That's on them and the star on that team who I got into it with the jury about at the start of this series. I hope Alan is here because this is what I was saying about Anthony Edwards. You guys can want him to be all you want. He can want to be all he wants, but when time comes for him to show up and to put things on his back to try and stop runs, to try and go on runs, to try and win games, he hasn't done it.
No, yeah, I agree.
He hasn't. And so we can talk about the poor play from all of the role players. We should be and we will. We can absolutely talk about the poor play of Julius Randle, although in the second half he seemed to come alive a little bit and say, all right, I just got to try and play through some of this physicality. We can talk about his poor play as well. But if you're telling me Anthony Edwards is a face of the league right now and has potential to be the best player in the league, an MVP candidate or an MVP recipient, he can't be going out like this.
I agree.
This was disappointing.
I agree. I mean, look, I hear all the time. Anthony Edwards is glib. He's funny. He's willing to say things other people don't say. He's all this stuff, but like he's not good enough. And actually, my thought was the 2 guys who have the best shot of knocking off this Thunder team are probably Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson. And I've never really been a Brunson guy. Like I've kind of felt like he's just a volume scorer the same way Boston Isaiah Thomas was that year.
Yeah.
Like he just shoots as much as he wants. My favorite thing is watching this Knicks Pacers series and when Brunson comes down, Jeff Teague talked about it on his podcast the other day. Brunson dribbles the shot clock down until it's like 8 seconds, and if he doesn't have a shot, then he passes, and the other guys are like, man, like what am I supposed to do with this? But the funny part is they never pass it back to him. If he passes the ball with like 7-8 seconds in the shot clock, he is not getting the ball back because those guys are like, man, this is my one time to get the ball. I'm taking a shot.
I think Kobe said, if I pass you the ball and it swings back to me, I'm taking the shot because obviously you didn't want to shoot it in the first damn place.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know Brunson wants to shoot it. He's going to dribble it out. And then if he gets it someone else, they shoot it. I just feel like probably right now, I guess Halliburton's the best chance of beating the Thunder in a series. Don't you think? Like,
yes, best chance. Yes, the Pacers have the best chance of beating the Thunder in a series. Is it likely?
The teams remaining.
Is it likely to happen?
No,
because not just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going off, but at halftime, Shai had 20. Chet had 15.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams, J-Will, had another 15. They combined for 50 points in that first half. Again, the Timberwolves as a team only had 32. So the Thunder had 3 dudes outscoring your whole team. So if that's what they're going to play like, and I'll be interested to see what ends up happening when they play the Pacers, not just the star piece of it, the Halliburton SGA piece of it, but the bigs in particular, right? Because the Pacers have quality bigs, and
also,
Pascal Siakam is one of the most dynamic players at the forward position that we have in the NBA. So seeing him
against Chet,
I'm assuming it's him on Chet. That's going to be.
And then
be
Miles
great.
Turner, if he's guarding Hartenstein, he can sit paint because Hartenstein can't shoot from the outside of him. Miles Turner is like probably the best stretch big, one of the best ones in the league.
Damn good one.
So he can stand out there at the 3-point line and bring Hartenstein out away from the rim. The real question is, can Caruso go out there and foul Halliburton the whole game?
Well,
can Case and Wallace go out there and foul Halliburton the whole game? Can Aaron Wiggins do it?
I think you're getting your matchups confused because I would pick Caruso on Siakam.
Who do you put on Halliburton? Case and Wallace or one of those guys?
You put because I'm assuming Caruso's still coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So you start with Dort on Halliburton.
Yeah.
And then when Caruso comes in, you can throw Wallace or somebody else.
Or if Dort hurts one of the Thunder guys.
That should have been a flagrant.
Which one? Every game there's
no. The one on
diving
Josh
into guys' legs,
been a flagrant.
taking out Ja.
He did it one time and was Ja Morant.
Oh, there's highlight videos of him throughout the season injuring
the playoffs. Done it one time to Ja Morant. So if you're salty about that, I can understand that. But he's a tremendous defender. He's one of the guys who you can't screen on ball screens because he fights over it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that is fouling, physicality, whatever you want to call it. It's not getting called, and he's able to get over ball screens. So he makes you basically useless coming up there with your big to set the ball.
Who do you think's been, like, for you, and I was thinking about this the other night, the biggest revelation of these playoffs? Like, I've been super impressed with Aaron Nesmith. Seen him a little bit in the season. We don't really watch the Pacers a lot here in the Western Conference, but I mean, talking about guys fighting through ball screens and not being able to get blocked.
The best one.
He's been incredible in this series. And he's a good shooter. He's athletic. Like, he's, to me, probably been the biggest revelation, I guess, of these four teams that were left in the series. A lot of talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's fine. He's good, great defender, but on offense, he doesn't really bring much to you. And I feel like Nesmith probably was. The Pacers have all those dudes. They have the guy with the fake cop mustache, Ben Shepherd. Not Nesmith, but Nembhard. Yeah, they've got all these guys who can play. Been.
It's going. I don't know when it happens. I think we're both on the same side of this.
Yeah.
Pacers are going to advance. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight or if it's going to happen in Game 6 or Game 7, but the assumption is they get through it. And it's going to be great to watch. Hartenstein sets good screens.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to watch. And
he's allowed to move.
SGA uses them real well. It's going to be fun to see what Nesmith can do. Because if I was a coach, middle school, high school, various college levels, pro basketball, I would put when we begin talking about defense and what we're going to do on ball screens, everybody would sit down and we would watch videos of Nesmith going over ball screens because that's the type of tenacity you need.
Here's the other thing is the T-Wolves, they were just hunting Gobert. The Thunder were, right? Yeah. And they were trying to get the SGFTA against Gobert matchups over and over. And, Gobert looks like someone tied his shoelaces together when you have him in the open court trying to guard a point guard. It's hard. I get it. What if you switch those matchups? You put Miles Turner on Holmgren, which I don't know, maybe you can do that, maybe not. But you put Siakam on whoever's the ball screener, and then you get him switching on to SGFTA.
You could do that.
If I'm the Pacers, that's my thought.
Here's the issue with that. Going to the Rudy Gobert piece of it first.
Yeah.
Rudy did fine.
He did great,
He was
can't guard point guards.
He was beyond serviceable on those matchups.
Yeah.
Routinely, though, after SGA puts up the shot, the Thunder are getting the offensive rebound, and that's where it becomes a problem. You pull your best rebounder away from the basket. Doris Burke did a great job of pointing that out on the call. So did Richard Jefferson. Hey, you're pulling your best shot blocker rebounder away from the basket. So when the shot goes up, nobody is down there to rebound with the same force that he's able to rebound with. So if you do that with Pascal, fine. You're going to get a good contest. You're going to get a miss. Are you going to be able to rebound?
The Pacers are a pretty good rebounding team, and Obi Toppin's been really good in the playoffs.
And Miles Turner, that would pit Miles Turner towards the rim in that situation.
More of
so,
a chance to get a board. I don't know. That's an interesting thing you could do.
That's a fun cross matchup.
If there's a coach I trust to kind of figure out something that might work, it's Rick Carlisle. He's been a very good X and O's coach throughout his career. He got the Mavericks to a title. What was it, 15 years ago now? When
it couldn't have been 15. Yeah. It's not 15. It's 2011.
That's 15 years ago.
No, it's not 15. That was like 3 years ago, Lang.
I was at the final.
No, it was 15 years ago.
I know. I was there. I remember.
Wow.
I didn't have kids then.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're watching basketball, man.
That's wild. That was when Tyson Chandler was playing.
Oh, one of the best vertical threats in the NBA history, man. It's gonna be fun. I think Richard Jefferson pointed out on the call, Anthony Edwards, tremendous defense, one possession, forced a turnover. And Richard Jefferson said, hey, that's good defense by Ant. Just so you know, the Thunder have been playing that way all game. The difference in the Thunder and the Timberwolves is the Thunder can do that all game, and the Timberwolves can't.
You're talking about be physical and not get called for fouls?
They can do it for possession. I'm talking about play good defense, Lane. Listen.
You came around to my point.
No, I watched them play great defense, and the Timberwolves didn't. The Timberwolves haven't. And part of the reason why the Thunder are here and other teams aren't is because they play good defense. They play great defense. And you can say they're getting away with fouls. Fine. If they're getting away with it, you need to do it and you need to force the issue.
Well, so here's my question is and someone in the chat mentioned this too. They were like, the Grizzlies had a problem being physical all year because the Grizzlies are in foul trouble all season long. Lots of fouls, gave up a lot of free throws. How do you be physical without giving up a lot of free throws?
Okay, so
I really don't know the answer because it feels like the Grizzlies were, like I said, like the Thunder are officiated differently than other teams. If you're going to be physical, great. That's a great way to try to be on defense. But if you're giving up all these free throws, how do you not get? Why is one team called for fouls and one isn't?
Because the other team is fouling. So too many times with the Grizzlies bigs, instead of going up, they come down and they hit people's arms. 1, 2. The other thing is they're not strong enough. All right, people start driving, and you can't stop them with your arms straight up from getting to where they want to get to. So what do you do if you're on the perimeter? Your arms come down, your elbows go out, and you're hitting them with that type of stuff. That's very clearly, very obviously a push. The Thunder defenders are just stronger. Yeah. They can move you without the pushing around and things of that nature. They're just a stronger, smarter, savvier defensive team. They beat you to spots. How many times do you think in a Grizzlies game do you say, oh, that perimeter player beat that guy to the spot? Too often with this Grizzlies team, they're allowing them to go where the opponents on the offensive side of the ball, they're allowing them to go wherever they want to on the court. Nobody is beating anybody to a spot out there. Yeah. And once you beat them to a spot, Caruso is beating you to a spot. Dort is beating you to a spot. They have as much right to that spot as you do. That's when they wall up. That's when they get physical. That's when they're strong.
When they reach.
And they're fine. If they get ball, Lang, they're getting ball. I don't know.
There's a lot of arm. There's a lot of arm. There's a lot of other stuff.
I didn't see a whole lot of arm, man.
Yeah.
I didn't. But I don't know. They won. So they're there.
They're there.
They're there.
They're it's hard for me to square them the dislike I have for the way they defend and the way they are officiated with them being the best team in the NBA this year. And they have been the best team in the NBA all year. I just wish the rules were the same for everybody. Someone in the chat says they can't believe that they said CJ kind of looks like J-Dub.
That's is it Dub or Will? It's Will. Will is the one I look like.
Which is the one that plays?
Will. Will is plays.
You do look like him, but I don't know. I'm surprised people haven't.
They have. 1, 2. I'm older than him. He looks like me. Damn it! I had this face first.
You gotta grow your hair. You gotta get some braids.
I can't do that. He's got to go ball. Lang, again, I was here first. He's got to look like me.
It might happen for him.
And Anthony Sane pointed that out 2 or 3 years ago, and Twitter had a field day with it. We got more stuff to come on the other side. Teresa Walker.
Who else is there? Teresa Walker. Roser's allegedly going to show up. We'll talk about movies and other stuff.
Yeah, so Teresa Walker next, and then we got more fun coming your way up on Jessica Benson Show.
What should the Grizzlies take away from this Western Conference Finals matchup?
The Grizzlies need more quality depth. Not just depth, quality depth.
Well, what the Memphis Grizzlies can learn and take away from the Western Conference Finals is you can't talk about it, you got to be about it.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment. And they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
CP the franchise. Do we hate the Pacers?
Of course. I hate Halliburton. I hate Reggie. I hate the Pacers. I hope.
Yeah, where does Halliburton rank?
Is he
Where does he rank?
Yeah, is there potential for him to be more hated than Reggie by the end of this series?
If you start flipping it all off, for sure.
Yes. Well, first of all, they're built the same. They damn near look the same. You know what I mean? He's like reincarnated Reggie Miller.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with, where you have a better chance.
But
of
you get a
sticking.
lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think
do?
you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. Jessica Business Show. Lang filling in, CJ here also. Teresa Walker joins us right now. One of the great sports columnists in the nation. Teresa, how's everything going?
Well, it's good because I finally got to see Cam Ward. I missed the rookie mini camp and I missed the whole draft thing because my son was getting married and everything, but finally got to see the wonder that is Cam Ward. And seeing the video clips that the Titans have been sharing from their media team, little snippets, just to keep everybody buying tickets, yes. But I will say it's fun to watch the ball come out of his hand, and he throws a very pretty spiral.
I would look. Unfortunately, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, and so last season we saw them use a top pick on a quarterback, and by the end of the season he was starting playing a lot. CJ mentioned already this morning Malik Willis and Will Levis, who are also quarterbacks for the Titans. Where does Cam Ward sit in this race to be the starter, or in the depth chart, or playing time, or did you get a sense for how that's going to shake out?
Well, Malik Willis is now a Green Bay Packer.
My fault.
Him at the Yep, no worries. It's been such a revolving door. It's tough to keep track, and I cover the team. Malik Willis was traded to the Packers.
That's right.
Will Levis was the 33rd pick overall. He's going into his third year. And then Cam Ward, I'm sorry, you take a quarterback these days in the NFL at number 1 overall, he's going to be the starter. Now, the Titans are trying very hard. And in fact, yesterday, Brian Callahan kind of did a preemptive strike, so to speak. He says, we're rotating the quarterbacks. So don't ask me who's number one. We don't have any ones. We don't have any twos. We don't have any starters. We're just rotating. We have a plan for our quarterbacks. And having covered this team, especially the last 3 years when they have managed 3 wins each season with a rotation from Ryan Tannehill to Will Levis, Malik Willis got in there. My God, Josh Dobbs, do we forget him?
Yeah.
The year that the last year that they were contending for a playoff title, and that went down in flames in Jacksonville. So I'll be honest. Cam Ward's going to be the starter this season. Now, the question is he the starter September 7th at Denver? Do they go ahead and hand it to him? And because I'm sorry, the problem I have with Will Levis, and Brian Callahan raved about him yesterday. He is definitely improved. He's worked hard. He went out to California to work with quarterback guru Jordan Palmer on his footwork, ball security. I just have a hard time getting out of my head 26 combined turnovers.
Yeah.
That is interceptions and fumbles lost last year. A 17-point lead in the opener at Chicago, literally blown away, led by a pick six. And Will Levis is improving. Well, at the end of practice yesterday, and now granted, no pads. It's the first time all offseason that they've gone against the other side, the defense. Mark Perry picked him off, and it would have been a pick six to end practice off of Will Levis. And now Cam Ward's a rookie. He's making rookie mistakes. There was a bobbled exchange that hit the floor. Their center is recovering from an Achilles. Lloyd Cushenberry played only 8 games last year. But Cam Ward's going to be the starter. It's just a matter of when do they say it.
Do they want Kirk Cousins? We'll give him Kirk Cousins.
No.
He's available.
No, isn't he going to Pittsburgh if Aaron Rodgers?
I hope he goes somewhere. I don't know. I'll just get him out of Atlanta. Let's get him somewhere else.
Just philosophical question for both of you, Teresa and Lane. We'll start with you, Teresa, and then get Lane's thoughts on this. What would you do with a rookie quarterback? You got the number 1 overall draft pick. You drafted the quarterback as a rookie, not just for the Titans, but just in general. You're the general manager of a football team. You're the head coach or the owner of a football team. What would be your mentality? Would you want to play them immediately, or would you want to let them sit for at least a handful of games before you stick them out there?
In a perfect world, that would be the great approach, right? Because there is a difference from college to the NFL. But we don't live in that world anymore. Steve McNair essentially started behind, or sat on the bench behind Chris Chandler for the first 2 seasons with the Houston Oilers before they finally started, and turned him loose as the starter. Peyton Manning, he was thrown into the water. And, he was just picked off left and right. He had a miserable rookie year, but it paid dividends. And Cam Ward has made it very clear that he is a competitor and he wants to be better. The line that stuck out to me yesterday, the defensive coordinator, Denard Wilson, said that if there's an open receiver on the field, Cam Ward can find him. And I mean, this is the thing. You can't look at this franchise in the amount of holes that they have to fill and say they're going to be a playoff contender this year. So let Cam Ward learn. He's the number 1 pick. Throw him out there. Let him learn. Because now I can see a great argument for keeping Will Levis as the backup, without a doubt. But I'm sorry, Cam Ward needs to be the starter. Why? Because this team has not been good. And the only way they're going to get good is if a quarterback can lead them, and you need to find out if Cam Ward is the guy.
Well, you're saying let Cam Ward learn. I feel like he had a year to learn. And I know you said that yesterday he was talking about, season 2 in a system is a chance to really kind of take that next step and understand it at a different level. We saw him. He's had a year to learn. And
Will Levis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Levis, has had a year to learn and has sort of been a disaster. And also, you can't pour perfume on a pig. Like, we saw him at Kentucky. We saw him in the NFL. Like, he's okay. He's fine.
Like
you said.
We sat here.
Yes.
That Kentucky game, Odds Couple, Grind City Media subsidiary. Isn't it on today, Lane?
Yes, 2 o'clock.
Right here on Grind City Media. We sat here. Kentucky played Tennessee in that big game. Yep. We're like, all right, here we go. Let's see what Will Levis is about. And he threw that damn pick six and I guess the game went from 310 to like 317. It was like, oh no, I'm out on him. I don't know how much. I'm with you. I don't know how much more you need to see from Will Levis.
He did the same against Georgia 3 years ago when Kentucky was undefeated, like halfway through the season, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is it. It's a big matchup," and the same thing. So my thought to that point is that, like, we kind of know what Will Levis is. Like, let's see what Cam Ward is. Let's throw him out there. Now that being said, I would say I mean, for all the for all anything you want to say about the Falcons, there's plenty you can say about them. I think they kind of handled that situation pretty well last year in terms of Cousins and then the transition to Michael Penix. You know, Kirk Cousins started the first 10 games, whatever it was, and then they went to Penix. So it gave him some time to get in there, understand the system. Cousins was okay. Like, they were still had a chance to make the playoffs by the time they made the switch. You know, maybe if Penix starts from the start of the season, he's okay. And then, like, you know, look at Bryce Young in Carolina. Like, they started him as a rookie and then had to bench him for a while to figure stuff out. I would think Cam Ward, you know, maybe it's better to ease him into it a little bit instead of just throwing him out there and seeing if he's able to sink or swim.
Two things. Cam Ward is a guy who's gone from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami. He's shown the ability to adapt quickly.
Yeah.
So that is a huge plus in his favor. The other thing, Titans don't have a veteran like Kirk Cousins on their roster. Will Levis is going into his third year, and we've kind of seen the best of Will Levis. Now, you can argue, oh, they've revamped the offensive line. They've got a new left tackle, a new right guard. You've got Cushenberry coming back at center, and then J.C. Latham is back at right tackle, and that's where he played college at Alabama. So if the offensive line's better, then maybe he makes better decisions. But then it comes down to Will Levis making better decisions, and that's the challenge. This is a franchise that lost 7 games last year by 8 points or less.
Yeah.
And they had 3 wins for the year. If you can turn half of those, then, you know, if you get 4 out of the 7 and make those wins, then guess what? Suddenly you're at 7 wins, and you can be thinking about we're heading in the right direction, and show that proof. And in the AFC South, oh my God, you're a winner too. The way the schedule's built, maybe you're playing for something. That's how quickly the NFL can change. Look at the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels. So that's why I'm thinking you've got to go with Cam. In a perfect world, yeah, it'd be nice if you had a veteran who could do that. If you had Ryan Tannehill on this roster, that would be exactly what you'd like to do. It just didn't. At this point, with what they've got. And Brandon Allen was taking a lot of those first snaps to start some drills yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not turning it over to Brandon Allen either.
Yeah, I would also, like we said, we've already acknowledged I'm pretty unprepared this morning. However, John Roser just showed up, so John Roser's here to help out too. I would say this morning, before I got up and made breakfast, I saw a clip on the Twitter or the X or whatever it's called of Xavier Restrepo yesterday at Titans practice, talking about playing with Cam Ward and what it means and how Cam Ward, how great he is and all that stuff. Do you think, like, Cam Ward aside, like, do they have the right tools, not on the line, I'm talking about skill positions on the outside. Do they have those guys that around him that are good enough to give him a chance to be successful?
Well, I think that Calvin Ridley, who, by the way, his locker is very close to his quarterback these days, and Cam Ward was actually
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Beside Ridley yesterday. So, hey, he's the number 1 receiver right now. And Tyler Lockett is another veteran.
Yeah.
But they spent a lot of capital in the draft on day 3. Alec Ayomanor, and I'm still trying to get that name down, from Stanford. He's looked really good. He caught a couple of really nice passes yesterday from Ward. He's looking good. Aside from Restrepo, I mean, he's a guy who's an undrafted. Anything you get out of him is just gravy. But between adding Lockett in free agency, drafting Alec Ayomanor, they brought in Gunnar Helm, the tight end from Texas, to go with Chigakwonkwo. I think that they've got the makings of. Now, granted, there's a lot of young talent that's going to have to show that they can do that. But they also got Van Jefferson, brought him back to the mid-state area, a veteran with experience under his belt who knows kind of this system, or at least is familiar with it from the Rams. So they've got some key veterans up near the top who can go out and catch balls and help a young quarterback, and they've got some young talent to grow with Cam Ward. So I do think the skill positions are better. Nick Westbrook-Akine is with the Miami Dolphins this year after having 9 touchdown catches last year. I'll just point out in the first month of the season last year, he didn't get a catch for this Tennessee Titans team. And that's because he was at the bottom of a not good, very bad receiving core.
Absolutely. Teresa, last thing before we get you up out of here. SEC, earlier this week, Greg Sankey came out and mentioned, listen, my member institutions are wondering why we're still in the NCAA. You cover everything, Teresa, the Vols, the Commodores. You cover all these different teams in the SEC. What are your thoughts on the SEC threatening and the truthfulness, the chances that they do actually leave the NCAA sooner rather than later?
Well, I also was at the NCAA convention that was in Nashville in January, and here's the challenge: is that you've got the NCAA administers all the other championships. The Women's College World Series starts today in Oklahoma. The College World Series for baseball will be in Omaha in a couple of weeks. So, swimming, golfing, tennis, basketball, which is a multi-billion-dollar income draw. The SEC, it seems like they're being driven by the football side of this conversation right now. And it's like, Wade, hold up just a minute. You're trying so hard to get more SEC teams into a football playoff. Well, hold up and remember all the other championships, because Tennessee is in, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida are in the College World Series. Florida is the men's champion in basketball. So it's like, South Carolina was the women's champion a year ago in basketball. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face, and don't let football make the decisions that you would have to write the checks for everything else. It costs a lot of money to run these many other sports championships.
Teresa, thank you so much for joining us, as always.
Thanks, Teresa.
Consensual heart hands. Lang, throw them up.
I don't know. What is this?
Yeah, consensual heart hands. We say I love you to Teresa.
Right.
Thanks, Teresa. We'll talk to you next week. Lang brought it
Thanks,
up.
guys.
Roger is here.
Thanks.
We've got more to get to. We'll talk more about that SEC stuff on the other side.
It just means more, CJ.
I can't wait for it. I can't turn Rose's mic on.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
We got your football coach.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
And my conference.
My man's talking about the RPI.
We're going to talk about it up next on Jessica Benson Show.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies at home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today. The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information.
With a knock-away. Good defense. Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting. Let's go!
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Jalen Wells is in studio right now. You took on tough, if not the toughest defensive assignment. When did you realize that would be your role?
And that's what I was working towards since training camp. I was trying to guard Dez, I was trying to guard Ja whenever I could, even if they're blowing by me, overpowering me. I really didn't care, because I was a rookie, so it's like, that's what's going to happen to a rookie.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Last week, I gave you the update about my son Kevin in terms of having to choose.
Has he made the decision?
He picked Tennessee State.
Oh, my heart, Mike.
The next day, we got an email from the director of Tuskegee's program laying out everything that they were going to be doing, and he flip-flopped.
There we go.
He flip-flopped. So he's going to be going down to Tuskegee.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify. Welcome back in. Jessica Benson Show. No Jessica. Lane kind enough to fill in. Roser is joining us as well. Real quick before we get to the SEC side of things. This is a GCM bingo. We keep track of it. Yep. The directors do downstairs. They keep track of all of the personalities and all the different combinations that have appeared on shows. This is the first time we're pretty sure that Lane, Roser, and CJ have been on the Jessica Benson Show.
On the Jessica Benson Show?
Yes.
Because we're on the Odds Couple together every week, twice a week.
When?
The three of us.
When?
Today.
What time?
2 o'clock today.
2 o'clock.
Is there another day?
On Mondays also at 2 o'clock.
Right here?
No, in the other, the smaller studio.
Because it's an intimate show.
Yeah.
You're right.
More intimate.
It's more sexual.
Yeah. There's some tension in there.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. So, shout out, congratulations. Thank you, John Roser, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Text message went out like a bat signal.
It really did.
Lane Roser, great job coming in. I appreciate it a whole lot. Let's talk about the Commissioner Sankey's comments about SEC potentially leaving the NCAA member institution. Asking him, why are we here? Giving him the go-ahead. Hey, whenever you see fit, we're ready to leave. I'll start with you, Lane. What do you think about the SEC?
Let's get out of this.
SEC.
Yeah, SEC. We need to get out of this crap situation. Like the SEC has been carrying the NCAA for long enough. And I know Teresa was saying, oh, well, they have all these other, the women's softball tournament and the baseball. All these other tournaments. We'll just make the SEC tournaments for all these things. That's the only teams that make it.
Who's in the softball? I hadn't looked. I guarantee you it's all SEC and Liberty.
Tennessee's. I think Tennessee was like the Tennessee softball team was like number one, number two in the country.
Half the teams are SEC teams.
It's usually Oklahoma.
Over half. You got to think about Oklahoma and Texas are now there.
Alabama's
Texas A&M is there. Alabama,
Georgia.
Tennessee, Georgia, Vanderbilt, right? Like Florida,
South Carolina.
Most of the teams that make it to the College World Series now, they all stem from the SEC because, in large part, warm weather dominates that sport.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the weather's not warm enough in the Midwest for them to be playing it year-round like we do down here in the South, those two sports.
You're never going to guess this.
What?
You're never going to believe this. The top 6 teams, according to ESPN
all 6
USA
of them are SEC.
today. Yeah.
All 6.
All of them.
All 6.
I mean, same as the college basketball tournament last year was 14 of the 16 SEC teams made the NCAA tournament.
Give me the 3 in the top 10 that aren't in the SEC.
Oklahoma.
Florida State. Oklahoma is in the SEC.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oklahoma is in the SEC.
Oklahoma State.
Florida State.
Clemson, Miami.
No.
Is Oklahoma State in there? Stanford.
No.
We're talking about
USC?
the women's softball? Yeah.
Which one? Wait, which one are we doing? Softball?
Yeah, softball.
So USC?
No.
UCLA.
UCLA's 10.
Who else is warm, Lane? Because it's warm.
They're not warm.
They aren't. Is it Michigan?
No.
Okay.
So there's no Big
Ten
Ten
They are
teams.
Big Ten school.
Oh.
Oregon? There we go.
Oregon.
My son had a soccer practice a couple years ago, and there was a girls' fast pitch softball team practicing on the other end of the field, and I was watching them, and I wanted so badly to go over there and try to take some cuts. You think you could hit the fast pitch softball?
No.
I don't know. I played baseball in high school. Like I feel like I could get the bat on the ball.
This sounds like a
Pros versus Joes.
We need to get we've got a video team. Go take batting practice. We can get somebody from the University of Memphis women's softball team to fast pitch to you.
I feel like I don't think I could hit a home run, but I feel like I could just make contact.
You want to make contact?
Yeah, like I think that's
Okay.
Anyway,
that once they start throwing that off speed stuff, I'm done.
No. They just got to throw. They got to throw. We want straight heat.
Yeah, I want the fastball.
All right.
We want heat.
Bring it, Jenny Finch.
Throw the heat. Like we know how this.
I can hit that fastball.
Do we know how it goes if you start throwing off speed stuff?
Yeah,
it's now it's a guessing game and we're totally
I'm going to
screwed.
be tumbling over in the batter's box. The one thing I'd say, CJ, about the SEC seceding, I mean, think about the 2020 college football season, the COVID year, when the SEC was like, you know what, we're going to have our own season. And it was just SEC teams playing against each other, and it was awesome. It was every week was some great game. There wasn't a lot of other choices of football to watch, but I feel like that's kind of the baseline of what this thing could be. If it's just an SEC league playing against each other, I know there's a question of cost for all that other stuff, and Teresa mentioned like football sort of leading the charge on this. Football makes enough money, I think, that they could pay for all these other tournaments. That they could pay for a softball tournament, they could pay for a tennis tournament, they could pay for a baseball tournament with all these teams.
And the only sport not in the NCAA's control is football. So just because you leave for football doesn't mean the other sports have to go.
No,
and I don't think that. And somebody will have to explain to me because I can't see it and I hadn't read anything on it. The financial impact of leaving men's and women's basketball. Right, bringing them with you. Because I think that March Madness money is good money to make. And I'm not sure if you can make that money.
How much money do you make? Though I don't know. I thought the NCAA makes the money.
And the NCAA makes the money and divvies it out. So you make 1.75 million every win in the tournament, I do believe. So you make like $3 million for getting it and 1.75 mil for every win in the tournament. I think that's what
hold
it
on.
is.
This is from Reddit 3 years ago, so who knows?
So it's 3 years ago. I think they've made some changes since then, but go ahead.
3 years ago, last year, it was $1.8 million over 6 years per game played. So about $300,000 a year to the conference per game played. Goes up a small amount each year. It's probably 1.85, 1.9 million this year. Note that it goes to the conference, not the school. Most conferences distribute that money evenly to each school.
Wait, so the conference
doesn't.
So
every
the
conference doesn't.
So the conference may get. So there, how many SEC teams made the NCAA
Lang
tournament?
said 14.
Last year, 14 out of 16 made
So
it.
they get how 1 point what per game? Like 1.5 per game?
Something like no. It was the conference hits 1.8 million over 6 years per game played. So like 1.8 million per game played.
So you had at least 14 games at 1.8 million. So in
That's
Florida,
here comes the hashtag Roser math.
That's close to 20 mil from just games played.
That's
in the first round.
25.2 million in just the first round. Now you have Florida, who won the whole thing.
So they played.
Tennessee went to the Elite Eight.
They played extra games, right? So you're looking at close to $40 million for the SEC to do with how what they want.
Here's an article.
Okay, to put that in penny terms, dude, like, what is the payout that each one of these teams gets from football? Like they get like that. Like that is first round money to divvy up to all 16 schools. Dude, they hand checks for like $30 million to the football. Way more than that. It's like $50 million to every team just for football.
Way more. The SEC and the Big Ten are approaching giving $100 million per institution for football.
It is football.
What you're talking about, Roser.
Football is off the screen. And basketball is still below the screen.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
But you're still making money.
You
from
still are making
basketball
money
in the NCAA.
Yes.
So I don't know if you need to take basketball from the NCAA, and if you're going to continue to get that type of money. The issue is right now the SEC and the Big Ten. And the Big Ten is waiting. The Big Ten doesn't want to do what the SEC is doing first. They'll do it second because they don't want to be blamed for ruining college sports. They don't want to be blamed for changing the college landscape. USC and Oregon went to the Big Ten. Washington went to the Big Ten the same way Oklahoma and Texas went to the Big Ten. And Big Ten was like, no, y'all will just have to leave. When y'all leave, we'll take you. We're not going to take you before you leave. And that's what the Big Ten is doing right now. The haves and the have-nots discrepancy is so wide right now in college athletics because all that football money finds its way to the other sports as well. So now you're talking about the Big Ten and the SEC who are paying close to, if not more than, $100 million per institution. What's the Big 12 paying? 50? Florida State, Miami, Clemson, the ACC, close to 50 right there. They're not making that type of money. So obviously they're going to start falling behind in that sport.
Race.
And it's the arms race. They can't afford the arms. That's why you brought it up, Lang, when talking about basketball. The money goes to the conferences to do what they want with. Part of the way the ACC got Clemson and Florida State to calm down just a little bit before they found out about the SEC. Part of the way they got them to chill out back in February, March, was they say, hey, okay, cool, check this out. You guys get your money.
We'll give you a little extra.
We'll give you every win you get in the tournament. We're not giving it to the conference. The conference just gives it to the school. There you go. Also, the ACC is starting to do a TV revenue tier where we're not divvying it up evenly. Yeah. If you're bringing in more TV dollars, if you're bringing in more TV revenue when your games are on, you get a certain percentage. So Florida State and Boston College are no longer getting the same cut of things because we are going to tune in when Florida State plays. If Boston College isn't playing Florida State or Clemson, maybe Miami, we're not watching Boston College and Virginia Tech play. So Boston College isn't going to get that same cut of money.
Yeah. The other difference is all these SEC teams now have bought into this idea of whatever's best, not for the NCAA, not what's best, whatever's best for our conference is probably the best idea. So they're willing to say, not like you see in the ACC, these teams, Florida State, Clemson, trying to flirt with defecting and all that. And the SEC teams are like, hey, let's figure out what helps us as a conference and brings more money to it. I also found an article from Deseret News about the money in the NCAA tournament. NCAA brings in nearly $1 billion in annual media rights from CBS and Turner. The reward system allocates payment units to all 32 conferences with teams in the field, with additional units for at-large bids. Presumably, that amounts to $264 million up for grabs, about $128 million based on 64 available units this month. SEC having 14 teams in the tournament, that's a huge payday for them. So, yeah, maybe they stick around in basketball.
Wait, how much was the payday for each of them?
It doesn't say exactly for each one.
Lang said the payday was 1.8.
No, 1.28 million based on 64 teams. So, yeah, about 2 million.
Lang said the payout was 1.8 per team in the field.
It should be 2 million now.
And then 1.8 for every win.
Okay,
we can make it 2 million for every win.
It's still that's pennies compared to what football gives you. I have long thought that this is where we were headed in college football, is that the SEC and the Big Ten are going to break away completely from the NCAA. Yeah. They will break away from all of it. My plan to fix everything is, it would never work. They will, because the conference commissioners, the presidents will never agree to it. But it is the SEC and the Big Ten are pretty much your AFC and NFC. Your Big 12 and your ACC are like your lower tier after that.
Yeah,
and you have relegation. The crappy teams in the SEC and Big Ten, the bottom 5 teams every year, they get demoted down to the Big 12 and the ACC, and the top 4 or 5 teams from that league every year get put up into the SEC and Big Ten, and you get that money the next year. And the same thing goes there. Those lower-level teams there in the ACC and the Big 12, they get demoted down to whatever Memphis and Boise State and all that's in. And then the top teams from there get promoted up into there.
It's as cool of an idea as it would be.
It's an amazing idea is what it is.
As cool as it would be to see.
It's an amazing idea.
To see UAB.
Top 10 idea ever.
Some random team.
It's like
UAB,
electricity.
Let's say UAB, you're the Edison of this show.
Yeah.
If UAB makes it, let's say UAB gets promoted and makes it into the top tier, and then you get to see a whole season with Alabama, Georgia, all these teams playing at their small stadium. It'd be awesome, right?
That's literally what happens in soccer.
Yeah. But there is no way the SEC is going to allow that to happen.
No, the presidents will never allow it to happen.
The coaches won't allow it to happen.
They will break away from the NCAA. They're going to. It makes too much sense because they're trying to restrict them on what they can do and put a salary cap on them. And they're like, no, you're not going to do that.
And to put a cap on how many teams you can get in the playoff, all that stuff.
Yeah. The second it says, hey, you've got a $20 million a year salary cap, and they're like, hold on now, that's across all sports. Oh, now you're putting restrictions on us. Yeah, that's not going to work. We're more. Greg's saying I'm more powerful.
We got to make the SEC great again. Get rid of this big government.
Yeah,
they are. The SEC and the Big Ten are leaving. They're leaving.
Yeah.
And now, from an NCAA standpoint, how do you continue to exist without Georgia, without LSU, without Florida, without Penn State, without Michigan, without Ohio State? Right? How do you continue to exist without the biggest names in the sport? because that is what's driving the interest in the sport. We'll tune in to watch MTSU play when they're playing Georgia, right? We'll tune in to watch Charlotte play when they're playing Florida, right? Like that's where the money is in those bigger schools. How do you continue to get some of that pie?
Well, look, here, two things come to mind when you say that. First of all, in soccer this year in England, Manchester United had a disaster season. They finished 16th out of the 20 teams.
And Tottenham finished. Yeah. Tottenham almost ended up relegated.
So United came close to getting
United
relegated.
and Tottenham, both two of the higher tier teams in the Premier League,
which would have been
almost
a disaster.
got relegated.
Like United has an 80,000 seat stadium. You know, if they're and then you on the flip side look at Wrexham, who keeps getting promoted. Now they're one away from the Premier League.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, it made me think about the NBA Finals. So you have the Pacers and the Thunder, two of the small market teams. And I know everyone keeps saying, wow, it's going to be such a great matchup. It's going to be, you know, these two high-paced teams with SGFTA against Tyrese Halliburton. They're going to play. It'll be great. My guess is that the ratings are going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, they will be.
For this finals.
I don't care, though. That's the fans' fault. Like, dude, that's just people being like,
it's not fans, it's like casual fans.
Casuals. Yeah, it's casuals. The actual fans are going to watch it.
Yeah,
like,
I'll watch it, but I'm saying I
think it's a fun finals. I think Oklahoma City probably will beat them in 5 games.
But if the ratings
I think it's
are
gonna be
bad,
fun.
that hurts your bottom line in the long run.
I don't know. Their TV deal's already signed.
I know.
Like, if we're getting off topic a little bit, but like, yeah, their TV deal's already signed. Deal.
But, you know, in 6 years when they go back and be like, hey, let's renegotiate, if you have 6 straight finals that haven't got a lot of eyeballs, that kind of hurts you, I think.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I think that the partners in the NBA have got to do a better job because basketball is different from football. We care about football.
Yeah.
Basketball, you can make us care about basketball. I think that ESPN and the other people who have the NBA product have got to do a better job of telling stories outside of the larger markets, Lang, to your point.
Yeah.
Right? They do a good job. The national media does a good job of telling you about what's going on with the New York Knicks every week. They do a great job of telling you what goes on. Not Lakers, yes, sure. But what's going on specifically with LeBron James every single week, no matter where he is. They do a good job of telling you what's going on with the Warriors and particularly Steph Curry every single week. There were teams and moments teams that I didn't realize were what they were in the playoffs until the playoffs started. Pistons immediately come to mind, right? It's like, holy hell, why are we not talking more about this is fun out here. They've got to do a better job of telling you about it to get you to care about, to get you to tune in. They do a good job in the same vein of telling you national media about what's going on, even at a school like Indiana. What's going on at Mississippi State. They do a great job with the Texases and the Oklahomas and the Alabamas and the Tennessees, right? Especially when those teams are humming or when those teams are really, really struggling. They do a great job of that. They don't necessarily do a good job of telling you what's going on with Memphis and the rest of the Americans.
But I thought about it. Remember like 5 years ago when ESPN came here and they did a whole day of shows?
Yeah, they did a whole day of shows.
They did all their shows here. They had all, like, I was thinking about Perk was here and all those people were here doing their shows. They used to do a better job of that, it feels like. And maybe it's just ESPN looked at the way these new rights things are going and was like, all right, we're going to allocate a little bit less to the NBA and just, look, here, we know the Lakers and the Knicks pay the bills.
It was who was it that said earlier this year, someone who's on ESPN criticized it and said that, like, because this was like all the way up in December and January, and it's like, do you realize we have spent more time this season, this is like in December, January, we have spent more time talking about Bronny James than we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
I think it was Barkley criticized.
Barkley criticized.
I think.
Yeah. Like that's a problem. Like that is a problem.
Yeah.
Like it on some level the networks do have a responsibility to, they say, well, we're just giving the people what they want. It's like, no, you also can push what you want.
Yeah.
Like you can talk about the things that should be talked about, but you choose to, like you make that choice.
Look at the NBA commercial right now, the unforgettable one that's airing during the playoffs. I don't think SGFTA or Halliburton's on there, are they? It's like Steph Curry doing the night, LeBron with the block from behind. It's your big market or your big, more famous players, I guess. Giannis is in there. It's like the guys instead of promoting the younger guys. I would also argue the NBA has for a long time had an issue promoting correctly things like. Do you think like Nat King Cole songs are moving the needle for like younger viewers at all? Or the other one has Aerosmith, Dream On. Like, is that really helping things?
Listen, I would hate to think that ESPN was penny pinching, but I'm sure that those were a bit more affordable than current songs. But y'all are right.
That's the NBA.
NBA. Yeah. Last thing before we get out of here, we all think that the SEC is leaving. I think we all think, Lane, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We all think that the Big Ten is leaving also.
Yeah.
When?
I don't know, but I do think there's going to be some schools they want to take with them first. I do think North Carolina is going to end up in one of those conferences. I think Florida State will end up in one of those conferences.
Belichick's girlfriend might be working against that.
Clemson might, but I do think there are going to be schools.
Miami.
There's going to be. Yeah, but there's going to be schools.
Obviously.
There's going to be other schools the SEC and the Big Ten want to take with them. And I think TV networks are going to play a part in that, which also gets into scary territory of if TV networks really start dictating all that, who do they kick out of conferences?
Well, and also,
who can they kick out? Because I'm not kidding you. Like
Vanderbilt,
Northwestern,
Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State better watch out if that starts happening.
South Carolina.
Although, like if you're the SEC, let's say you're trying to get up to 20 teams, right? So you got to have 4 more teams to this. If you're taking out Vandy, if you're taking out Mississippi State, then you got to add 6 more teams, and like. Do you really want? You need some bottom feeders in your league, right?
Yeah, you probably do. Well, let's. Because I was going to also say, can we what is the purpose of Rutgers? Like in anything,
New York.
But I don't buy that. I don't think
people in New York don't like Rutgers.
I don't buy that. I bet you there are more Notre Dame fans in New York than there are Rutgers fans.
They want Notre Dame. That's why Notre Dame
everybody
is
wants Notre Dame.
Desirable.
Yeah,
right?
Notre Dame is very desirable.
It gives you that market.
Yes.
It not only does it give you that market, it prevents other people from coming into that market.
And the Big Ten wants. Is that why the Big Ten ends up on NBC now?
Yes.
This is their way of trying. Hey, we've got NBC too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get rid of Rutgers. There's no use of them.
Got to have that market. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some about some summer movies. I saw one, Final Destination, Bloodlines. We'll get the guys' thoughts as well on some of the summer movies coming out this summer.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots. That
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're gonna get seeded this. So who's gonna actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with, where you have a better chance.
But
of
you get a
sticking.
lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think
do?
you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back in, everybody. Now it's time for Theater Thursday. CJ here, Lang, Rosa here as well, filling in for Jessica. She has told us where she is via social. So if you want to know, hop on social. Let her tell that story. We got theater stuff to get to.
Put a wheel lock on your Twitter.
Have you guys seen
Get the club?
Have you guys seen any good movies here?
No, the club doesn't work, supposedly.
Yeah.
Because if you have like the bolt cutters, you can just snip it and take it off the steering wheel.
Good movies. Anybody seen any?
Fast and Furious.
Turn up.
No, I haven't. We were talking about going to see Mission Impossible last week. We didn't go, but I haven't really heard reviews that like say you have to go see this. The last movie I saw in the theater was Sinners.
Okay.
Never saw it.
Which was
I've
good.
heard it's great.
It was good. It was like the spiritual successor to Idlewild, the Outkast movie, which was about two guys starting a juke joint and they mix hip hop and music. And I was like, oh, this feels like very derivative. Although they throw vampires in the Sinners one to make it different.
Yeah, that's where I don't know how much I would like it. I
love
know
it.
everybody loves it.
No, it's cool.
And
yeah.
I like Ryan Coogler. Like he's
also
great.
like no. I mean, it takes place in Clarksdale. Like it takes place down the road.
Yeah,
from
but I
here,
like.
so-
But I'm not kidding. Like vampires and zombies. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do vampires and zombies.
What about Chucky?
I've never seen Chucky.
You've never seen Chucky?
No, I don't like horror.
You don't
like
like-
I'm not
you
a
don't
big
like
horror
Gruden's
fan.
quarterback camp?
And I have to be careful when I say horror.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We've seen that before.
It's been a thing in the past.
I ask about Chucky because the actor who played Chucky passed away yesterday in his 60s.
He got attacked.
That was a person?
Yeah.
No, he means the voice of it.
I'm pretty sure it was a person.
No, Chucky was a friggin' doll.
Chucky's a doll. Yeah.
All right.
When you say the actor
You're
who played
telling
Chucky,
me that's a real person.
It's a little person. I just assumed. You guys are probably right. I assumed
Wait.
it was a little person in a mask this whole time.
That movie came out in the 80s, so you've been thinking that for over 30 years now.
that guy would be
Is Chucky
That guy would be
real?
a tiny little person.
Yeah, well, it's Ed Gale. Ed Gale passed away at the age of 61.
Oh, it is a little person.
This is what I'm telling you, people.
Roser, look.
This is what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Oh my God.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. So there are moments of intensity where they grab Chucky and throw Chucky. Clearly, they're not throwing the
I've never
little
seen the
person.
Chucky movies.
Okay.
No.
I just assumed it was a little doll because they sell dolls or whatever. Like you see the Chucky doll
Because Chucky is a doll.
stuck on the back of cars and stuff. Like I just
What a
assumed-
weird thing. Also, I
thought it was just a puppet.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, Chucky. So neither one of you have seen Chucky. Like
No.
I would think Chucky is up your wheelhouse.
I don't like horror movies either.
Oh, really?
To me, life is scary enough. I don't need to go to the movies to be terrified. Does that make sense?
No, you know who else Ed Gale played?
Who?
Howard the Duck.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
So the reason I know this,
Because you looked at it.
no, he has autographed cards
Okay.
of Howard the Duck, but he doesn't
Roser
have
is a
Chucky
card guy.
cards. I'm a card guy. I've seen these before.
The weird part about that guy passing away, Roser, is he was attacked by a little doll. Okay, no. No, I've never been a real horror movie. Like I don't Friday the 13th, Halloween, all that stuff. Like I don't really.
Yeah, I liked some of the Jason movies. Like I remember a couple of them I watched. Like some of them are just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speaking of ridiculous scary movies,
I like Scream.
Final Destination do anything for
No.
you?
The first one, man, they're so freaky. Like, no, because I'm already in my head is a dangerous place to be in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And like
life is terrifying.
Yeah, and Final Destination just
It's about,
amplifies that by like 500.
It's about isn't it about like trains, planes, and automobiles crashing and stuff? Like,
yeah, like you just step in the bathtub and you slip and you hit your head on like the soap thing and then your like brain busts open. Yeah. It's like, well, okay, like I don't
need to deal with that.
Yeah, you got me overthinking everything now in Final Destination.
Like
everything I do in my everyday life.
I like them so much. I saw Final Destination Bloodlines, and it was everything you guys
that
said.
with Roman Reigns?
Incredible.
Yeah.
No, Roman Reigns. I was expecting him to come out late.
Yeah.
He didn't make it out. It was great. You guys know what's going to happen in Final Destination, and you haven't seen it.
Everybody knows what's going to happen.
Everybody knows what's going to happen in Final Destination. So you know it's going to be ridiculous death scenes, and they tell you what is going to happen with the way they use the camera.
Yeah.
But they still find a way to trick you into a false sense of security before the thing that happens ends up happening. It is great. You guys hit the nail on the head. You'll be sitting there in the tub, slip on a bar of soap, which was blown over by a fan, slip on the soap, bang your head off the tub, boom, bing, bang, boom, you're dead, right? And they show you before it happens. They'll do a close-up on the soap. They'll do a close-up on you. They'll do a close-up on the tub. They'll wait 5 minutes, and then the thing that happens to you, and it is great. They did a good job also of tying in the other Final Destinations and why death is coming for all of these people and everything.
What they do? They did something wrong?
So the reason why death comes at you, Lang, is if you cheated. If a situation happens where you're supposed to die
at any point
and
in life,
you don't die, then death in this movie is coming to get you.
Oh, if you cheat death.
If you cheat
Not
death.
like if you cheat on your taxes.
No,
or something. All right.
if you cheat death. If we're standing here right now and the building collapses and we're supposed to die, but I have a vision because everybody has a vision in this damn movie. I have a vision. I'm like, oh no, the building is finna collapse. Lang Roser, let's go. And we get out of the building before it collapses and we live. Well, now be on the lookout because death is coming to get you.
The two movies that scared me the most. You asked me earlier about villains, CJ, like about movie villains.
Yeah.
Like Jason doesn't scare me. Freddy Krueger,
the Jason movies are so ridiculous.
Yes, the one who scared me, the one who made me like when I went home, I checked my closets was Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, Hannibal.
Hannibal Lecter. When I saw that movie, I mean, I was probably too young to be seen in the theater anyway, but I came home and I went through every closet in my house and under every bed, and I was checking for him. The other one that was terrifying
I've
to me.
seen Silence of the Lambs so much that it's funny
was
to me
the
now.
Martin Scorsese Cape Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, with Robert De Niro.
Dude,
yeah, like
as
that
Max,
one was
Max Cady?
Yeah, Max Cady.
You're going to learn about loss.
And the way he's like tied up under the car. Yeah.
Counselor.
I'm good on
Oh,
this.
my gosh,
I'm
dude.
assuming you guys didn't see Candyman.
No.
So Tony Todd is Candyman. He passed away not too long ago. This was his last movie. So he made an appearance in it, and he knew he had cancer. He knew he was terminal. At least the legend is he knew he was terminal when he did the movie. So they kind of let him riff the last couple of lines. He has a tremendous moment. He's not on the screen for long, but he's on it. He takes possession of it, and it's great. All in all, if you're into scary movies, if you're into the Final Destination movies, definitely go give it a look because I loved it. My wife loved it. It was good stuff. Let's scroll through some of the movies coming out this weekend.
I want to
and
see.
in the summer.
Yeah.
I just
And you guys
Googled
let me
Tony
know.
Todd, and
Yeah.
one of the first things that came up was how much was Tony Todd paid per bee sting?
And
apparently
Candyman.
in the first Candyman, 92, he got paid $1,000 per bee sting.
So you don't know the story of Candyman.
Yeah.
So Candyman is this monster. He ended up killed, got wrong, racism. But if you look in the mirror and you say his name, he'll come out. And one of the things he comes out and does is he unleashes hives of bees because when they killed him, they used bees and beehives to do so. And so, yes, there's a lot of scenes where he is interacting with bees.
He said he got paid $23,000 extra for bee stings.
23 times. I could do it.
It's a lot of bee
I
stings.
could do it.
I don't know, man.
All right, here's the list right now.
Maybe we should set up. Well, how much would it take for you to get paid to get stung by a bee?
$1,500. Whoa, wait. We got to adjust for inflation.
No, just right now. If we got a beekeeper to come in here,
if he was getting $1,000,
how much
in
right
the
now
90s,
would I have to pay you to get stung by a bee?
What's inflation like? 21? Give me 2,100.
Yeah, but this isn't for a movie. This is for Grind City media shows. We don't have that kind of budget.
2,100.
No, forget.
Oh, okay. Were you going to pay?
Well, I was going to talk to the powers that be. See if we, if you said $100.
No, why would I say $100 to be in pain?
I don't know.
Bee stings hurt, Lane.
Wait, what are
you
we
talking about?
Wait, we're trying to get stung by a bee?
Yeah. How much would you have to get paid to get stung by a bee?
I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean,
$100. I got stung by a wasp recently, and that hurts. I think that's worse than a bee sting.
Oh, it is.
I was hurting for like a day. It hurt, yeah.
And they can sting on repeat.
Yeah.
They don't sting and die. They
Not
sting
this
on
one
repeat.
after I stepped on him.
Did you know?
I got stung by a bee in the middle of like a baseball game when I was a kid one time. I'll never forget it. I was running to third base. I was running from second to third base. And then all of a sudden, I start like high stepping and slapping my leg. All the parents in the car are like, what the hell is this kid doing?
That bee was like, you're out.
Yeah, that bee was like, you're out of here. I was like, ah.
All right, before we get out of here, last thing, let's look at these movies. Y'all tell me which ones y'all are interested in. All right, this is from this week. So you had Stitch, you had Mission Impossible. Either one of those lane. You said Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, maybe.
Okay.
I didn't know this Karate Kid. I was asking my son about it because I was like, my son asked what happened to Mr. Miyagi, and I said he died in real life, the guy, but I think Jackie Chan takes on that role. But and I know the guy who played the Cobra Kai guy has passed away also. So I don't know who's left in this Karate Kid thing.
I hear the Phoenician, what is that, Phoenician Scheme. I hear that's supposed to be pretty fun.
Well, I don't know. It's Wes Anderson,
That's
my favorite
Wes
director.
Anderson, yeah.
And his movies have become almost insufferably more Wes Anderson as this thing goes along. So I'm going to go see it in the theater, but like I don't know.
Michael Cera, Benicio del Toro. The Mission Impossible one, I've heard all the Mission Impossible movies are great. The last one I saw was Mission Impossible
Ballerina's
3.
an action movie.
But Ballerina's the John Wick. That's from the world of John Wick, so I guarantee you it's awesome.
I saw a clip last night for a new Keanu Reeves movie written by Aziz Ansari where he plays a guardian angel coming out this summer.
How fast do you think Tom Cruise can run? Because Tom Cruise runs in every movie.
I saw a clip of him saying he went and trained with track athletes to learn how to run.
So, Quora, whatever that is.
Yeah.
What about this F1 movie? The one with Brad Pitt and the race cars. No, okay.
Yeah. I don't watch regular F1.
15.3 miles per hour, and Tom Cruise himself says he's been clocked at 17 miles per hour.
I don't know about this new Superman. I mean, James Gunn's had a good track record.
I'm going to see it. It's Superman. I'm going to see it.
I know.
And if I hate it, I'll hate it, but I'm going to see it.
Smurfs. Rihanna is in the Smurfs at Smurfette.
Shout out to Smurf.
Fantastic Four. You were talking about that when I walked in this morning, CJ.
Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be terrible, and I'm going to watch every minute of it.
Here's the thing with that Fantastic Four movie. I saw a commercial for it, and I was like, oh, Pedro Pascal. And I was like, who's the woman who plays Sue Storm? And I Googled her, and her name is Vanessa Kirby. I'd never heard of her, and I clicked on her thing. She has 3 million followers on Instagram. She's apparently like very well known. I had never heard of her in my life. I assume that'll be all right. I don't know. I liked Fantastic Four.
They doing a remake
Bad
of
Guys
Naked Gun?
2, yeah, with Liam Neeson as the Frank Drebin. The Bad Guys 2 was the first Bad Guys was a great movie, an animated movie. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are these still summer movies?
When the summer ends, we'll stop at August. So yeah,
The Toxic Avenger, Peter Dinklage.
There we go.
And Kevin Bacon. What a movie.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Hopefully Jessica's
Appreciate
back
y'all.
tomorrow. We're assuming she's back. Hey, for real, put the camera on Lane.
Yeah, Jess, I'll give you a ride. You need a ride tomorrow?
Thank you very, very much to Lane Whitaker for coming in. 15 minutes notice. Did a great job.
I got a car. My car can't get stolen. So, Jess, you need a ride. I help you out.
Put it on Roser. Roser came in a little bit later, but came in nonetheless. Thank you
We
guys.
showed up.
I think I was on fire when I came in, too.
You were.
I was ready to
You're
go.
always on fire.
I was
Dan.
ready to go.
Well, you got a coffee and an energy drink.
Yeah, this is my. I'm kind of a coffee drinker now.
My Apple Watch would explode if I had
you don't
my heart
need
rate that
coffee
high.
and an energy drink.
I did this morning. I'm about to go stretch in Lang's office. Lang's huge office that he has. Lang's office is bigger than this studio, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Jessica Benson
Based
Show.
on
We'll
life
holler.
achievement.